Morning, gang. Happy Wednesday morning. So, another beautiful day out in Tennessee. It's probably high 60s, something like that. Partly cloudy day, but beautiful weather to get outside and do some work and not sweat like crazy, even though I'm already wet. Uh, so, I wanted to kind of give you guys something else to do, and this one's a little bit of a bigger project. Obviously, if you live in an apartment, this one's not going to work at all, but maybe you'll have some fun watching me do this. This video is not going to be day after day after day after day. This is going to be in bits and pieces, so you'll see part 1, part 2, part 3 over time because it's a construction project. And y'all know, like yesterday's video, I was showing you how to store food, store your vegetables. Okay, well, then the next question comes, how do you store your meats? Okay, and again, we go into canning and freezing and freeze drying, and you can dehydrate them, I guess, if you want jerky all the time. Salting is another way to do it, but I wanted to do smoking. Okay, and I've owned in the past a little like they're like the little green egg or whatever it is. I mean, I had the cheap, almost looks like a Weber kettle one from Home Depot, which you got for like $30 or whatever it was, and that worked. Okay, but it's not conducive to what I want to be able to do. So my desire was to build a smokehouse, and I got Mrs. P's approval to do this, so nobody has to worry about that. She even helped me pick the spot in the yard, so we're good. Okay, now, absolutely do not want to be stealing anybody else's thunder, okay? And y'all know, like I say to you many times, take what you can, learn from me, go learn other stuff from other people. So this build is going out to credit from Danny from Deep South Homestead. If y'all don't follow their channel, you absolutely need to, because when it comes to homesteading, if you will, he's a freaking genius, all right? And so he did a video last year, as he called it, his epic smokehouse, and I watched this thing a couple of times, and I really like it. So I am going to build my version of his epic smokehouse. I'm going to change it a little bit to suit my needs. Like everything else I talk about all the time, take the information you need and see how it fits into your scenario, okay? Mine's going to be very similar, except what I'm also going to do with the smokehouse is I'm going to build my barbecue in to it as well. So I've got a whole cooking area in one spot, if you will. Okay, he's got 10 acres. I don't have 10 acres, so mine's a little closer to the house. Now, I will give you this as all. If you go watch Danny's got a background in construction, all right? I think he spent 30 years doing construction trade, owned his own company, et cetera, et cetera. Me? No, I'm not a contractor, never worked a professional day in my life in construction, but I know my way around tools, okay? And I can learn. So, I remodeled the basement in my house that I had in Indiana 10 years ago. The only thing I didn't do was the electricity and plumbing, but everything from putting up studs to hanging drywall to doing all the cabinetry and everything like that I did myself, and yes, it all passed inspection, so I obviously did something right. But I've built picnic tables, and I've built Adirondack chairs and planters and cabinets and all this sort of stuff. Hell, I built a cabinet out of pallet wood. If I can make a piece of furniture out of pallets, I think I can handle building something out of dimensional lumber. So that's the ride we're going to go on here. And as y'all know, I kind of like to do things as budget friendly as possible. So if y'all remember the video I put out about a month ago, where I got a bunch of that free lumber, that's where a lot of this is going. So I knew I wanted to do this, and it was January, early February when we did that. It was cold outside, so the lumber's been sitting stacked up under the porch to stay dry, and so now I'm going to be using it and go from there. So I'll show you what I've already started with, and then I'll kind of tell you where I'm going to go from here. So let me grab this as I'm sitting on the back of the truck, and I'm going to flip this around, so we'll see what we got. Okay, bear with me here. So flip. There we go. All right, so what I've done so far, and this is just the preliminary stuff, is I've taken out the lawn, if you will, the weeds, and basically getting ready to make myself a pad. So the smokehouse will be 4x4. So as you can see, and if anybody wants to do this, I'm going to do this as slow as I can so you guys can kind of get an idea of the dimensions, because there is no written plans. I'm kind of going off of what I could figure out off of Danny's video. So if you see, I've got, what, 3, 5, 8, 9, 10 blocks on the bottom there. And if you notice the one that is not sitting whole side up, that is going to be where I'm going to have the smoke intake. All right. Now, this is the first part that I'm going to do it a little different than Danny. Danny centered his. I'm going to put my smoke intake in the back so that I can put the grill up in front. But that's kind of my plan there. So my next step, as you see the 2x4s that are in the back, is I'm going to be building the frame. And I put these blocks here so I can get a general idea, make sure my space is right. So now I'll build the frame for pouring concrete, so that I have a level base. So that's what I'm going to do next, and I will show you after I got the frame what I'm doing here. So bear with me. Okay, that was enough to freak me out. I just sat down to show you guys the next step, and if you see that tree line in the back, there was literally a Air Force cargo plane that was, I mean, and I'm not kidding, just above that tree line. And to give you an idea how far that tree line is away from me, it is maybe 250 feet. So, and there's no airport around here. I'm at pretty close to the top of a mountain. So there's just a little sidebar to add to today's video. But okay, so I want to go back to what we're talking about here. So there is the frame now, and to give you an idea of where I am, and in case you want to do this yourself, like I said, the dimensions are 4x4. To cut those boards, you're going to cut 2 side pieces at 49 inches and 2 side pieces at 50. What did I cut them at? 49, 50. Yeah. At 52. There we go. Jeez, man. Okay, because obviously you want to take into account the 1.5 inches for the boards on each side. So you've got a 4-inch, 48-inch, 49-inch square on the inside, because you need to leave room for the grout lines or the mortar lines between the cinder blocks. And sorry, I'm puffing here, so moving all this stuff around. Now, if you look real close, you're going to see, especially in that corner, how I've got it propped up on just pieces of dirt. All right, and obviously that's not the final deal, but this is probably the most crucial part of the entire build right now, is making sure that your pad that I'm going to pour concrete in here is level and square, because obviously everything's going to build off of this. And if everything isn't level, then I'm not going to be cutting 90-degree angles on my boards when I'm putting them in. And if it's not square, then I'm going to have all the boards running on somewhat of an angle, so it'll look real funky. So very important to get this level and square, and that's why that dirt is piled up underneath there. What I'll go in and do next is backfill on the outsides around my 2x4s and put some stakes in to hold them from moving. And then I will fill on the inside with gravel. And considering where I live in Tennessee, I'm not worried about buying it. I'm just going to go right around all over the place and pick up rocks off the ground here and throw them in the center. And I know everybody say, hey, just go buy some gravel. It's not that expensive. Well, if I can save $1 and I got, God knows, around here enough rocks, I will just make my own gravel for it. Then I'll pour concrete in. So the next time you guys will see this, I should be ready to pour the pad and show you about pouring the pad and laying the cinder blocks. So like I said, this is my take on Danny from Deep South Homestead's epic smokehouse, but I figured you guys might enjoy watching me go through all of this one, just for something a little different. So all right guys, have a good Wednesday. Pinball out. All right, and so there's what you got after stakes are in and she's backfilled. So that will be the end of this day, because you don't need to see me picking up rocks and throwing rocks in there for a while. So that's what I got, and now I'll say pinball out.